Addod Solutions. Add-on desired.
Hello viewers, welcome to Addod Solutions Daily Current Affairs. I'm Lokesh Pengonda. This session is designed for aspirants who are preparing for banking, groups and such other competitive examinations. We cover news articles from both the Hindu and the Indian Express. Make use of this session. Our first article. The state government of Rajasthan is set to start a Vedic educational board. The Congress, in its earlier election manifesto, has stated that if it comes to power, it will start the Vedic Education Board. So, why is it a significant development? The Vedic Educational Board will be to revive the knowledge of ancient Sanskrit scriptures, and it will connect the learnings of the modern knowledge with the Vedas and the Yoga. So, to have a combination of modern knowledge and the ancient Sanskrit learnings, the Vedic Education Board will work. So if you have a question which is asking about the state which has recently come up with the Vedic Education Board and the Sanskar Board, then the answer would be the state of Rajasthan. We have a SIPRI report. Which is stating that for the first time in the last few years, the nuclear weapons and the nuclear arsenal of various countries in the world are increasing. So we'll first see what is the SIPRI report. SIPRI stands for Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. So the Stockholm Peace Research Institute is shortcut as SIPRI, and every year SIPRI will give you a report regarding the nuclear arsenal in the world and regarding the imports of defense related equipments in the world. And for now, we'll see regarding the SIPRI report of nuclear arsenal. It is stating that for the first time in the last few years, various countries in the world are increasing their nuclear weapons. It has stated that the country India has increased its nuclear weapons from 150 earlier to 156. And the country Pakistan has increased its nuclear warheads from 160 to 165. Similarly, even the China, Russia and United States of America has increased the nuclear arsenals. And now we'll see what are all the countries that have nuclear weapons. In the entire world, there are just 9 countries that have the nuclear weapons. First, we have the P5 countries that are United States, Russia, Britain, France and China. And apart from P5 countries, we have the India, Pakistan, Israel and North Korea. So the P5 along with these 4 countries together have all the nuclear weapons. And as of now, there are 13,080 nuclear weapons as an estimate. So these 9 countries have nearly 13,080 nuclear weapons. You should know that even though there are 9 countries which have nuclear weapons, just 2 countries have 90% of these nuclear weapons. We have the United States of America and the Russia, which have 90% of the 13,000 nuclear weapons that are in existence today. So this is with respect to the SIPRI report of 2021. Next, we have an article which is dealing with a new COVID-19 vaccine. Novavax is a United States based medicine vaccine producing company. So it is a vaccine production company based in the United States. And now, after various analyzing, after various phases of testing, it has come out with a COVID-19 vaccine named as the NVX. It has been named as the NVX Co-2373. So the name of the newly launched COVID-19 vaccine by the Novavax vaccine company is NVX CoV2373, and the company has stated that it has about 90% vaccine efficacy, and it has stated that it is not in the United States will first start production, but rather we will start production of this vaccine in developing and underdeveloped countries. Why is the Novavax is planning to start vaccine production in developing and underdeveloped countries? The major reason is its agreement with the GAVI. Novavax last year has entered into an agreement with something called as a GAVI. GAVI stands for Global Alliance of Vaccine Immunizations immunizations. From the name itself, you can understand that this is a body which is acting as an alliance for providing vaccines to the entire world, and majorly it is concentrating the provision of vaccine to the underdeveloped countries, mainly in Africa and South American countries. So this is a body which was set up through various organizations, including the Melinda and Gates Foundation, the World Health Organization, the World Bank. So these organizations have come together to start this initiative, and the Novavax has entered into an agreement with the Gavi to supply 1.1 billion COVID-19 vaccine doses. So it stated that it will provide 1.1 billion vaccine doses after an agreement has been reached with the Gavi, which stands for Global Alliance for Vaccine Immunizations. That's why the Novavax company is stating that will provide and will produce these vaccines in the low and developing countries in the world. Next, we have an article where a resolution has been launched in the European Parliament urging the European Commission to temporarily suspend the GSP plus benefit status given to the Sri Lanka. So what is this GSP plus status that is being given to the country Sri Lanka? GSP stands for generalized scheme of preferences. This is a scheme that will provide duty-free imports to the Sri Lanka. So whatever goods and services the country Sri Lanka is exporting to European Union, there won't be no import duty on all these imports. So this scheme will provide this provision to the Sri Lanka. So why is the European Union providing this feature, this provision to the Sri Lanka? There was an agreement between the European Union and the Sri Lanka, where the Sri Lankan government has promised that it will implement 27 conventions. So it stated that it will implement 27 conventions relating to human rights, relating to labor conditions, relating to protection of environment and good governance. And now there was a resolution in the European Parliament stating that Sri Lanka is not implementing its promise. It is not implementing properly these 27 conventions. So the proposal is stating that you should temporarily suspend the generalized system of preferences, which is providing Sri Lanka a provision as to export its goods to the European Union without any import duties. So you should know that this is just a proposal which is in the European Parliament. It has not been accepted as of yet. Next, we have an article where the Prime Minister in a meeting has stated that India will definitely restore 26 million hectares of degraded land by the year 2030. So, due to land erosion, the country's valuable and limited lands have been degraded to a particular extent. So, India have stated that it will try to restore nearly 26 million hectares of degraded land by the year 2030. And the Prime Minister, when he is giving an address to the United Nations high-level dialogue on the desertification, land degradation and drought, he has stated that by restoring this 26 million hectares of degraded land, we will also bring in 2.5 to 3 billion tons, 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide sink. Will by restoring this land, will be able to get 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon sink. So what do you mean by carbon sink? It is stating that if you are able to restore this much land, then even if you have 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide in the air, these trees will be able to absorb it, because trees absorb carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. So if you are increasing the number of trees in the country, the trees will be enabling the carbon dioxide reduction in the atmosphere. And you should know that the creation of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon sink by India is one of a promise India has made when it has signed the Paris Agreement. When it has signed the Paris Agreement in the year 2016. So what is this Paris Agreement I am referring to? In the year 2016, the Conference of Parties of United Nations Framework Convention for the Climate Change has met in the Paris, and various countries have come together and they have promised various steps that these countries will be taken. And one of the promise India has made is that it will create 2.5 to 3 billion tons of additional carbon sink, so that even if India's carbon dioxide emissions peak, even if the carbon dioxide emissions increase, these emissions could be absorbed by these trees, and the carbon emissions in the atmosphere could be reduced. So by restoring this, we will be enabling the trees to absorb this much carbon emissions. So we are getting both benefits by doing one thing. Next, we have an article dealing with the launch of a new Chinese spacecraft into the atmosphere. So we have earlier seen how China is planning to send human missions into the atmosphere, and how we have seen the Chinese government is trying to launch a space station by the year 2022. And to launch a space station by the China, it will need 11 missions to be completed. It will need 11 missions to be completed. And yesterday, one mission by the Chinese space station has been launched. This mission is titled as Divine Vessel. Divine Vessel. This is also named as Shenzhou 12. Shenzhou 12 is also named as the Divine Vessel, and through this mission, the Chinese government is sending 3 astronauts to the space. So you should know that Divine Vessel is one of a mission relating to the launch of space station by the China. You should note that currently there is only one space station, that is the International Space Station, which is a space station being managed and being contributed by several countries, including the United States of America. Next, we have an article where it is stated Iran has approved its first ever homegrown COVID-19 vaccine. We have seen how Iran has been the worst affected country due to the COVID pandemic in the Middle East. We have countries such as Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, Italy, Iran in the Middle East, but the earlier mentioned countries except Iran are rich and their population is very small. So these countries were able to import COVID-19 vaccine from the Western countries, whereas Iran could not import sufficient amount of COVID-19 vaccines from the Western countries, and the death toll and the infections in the Iran has been highest when we compare with other Middle Eastern countries. So to stop the further infections and to provide COVID-19 vaccines to its country's citizens, Iran government has provided its approval to a first ever COVID-19 vaccine indigenously developed. This COVID-19 vaccine is named as Cov Iran Berkat. So Cov Iran Berkat is the name of the indigenous vaccine for COVID-19 developed by and approved by the Iran. Next, we have an article which is dealing with medicines from the sky. To provide vaccinations against COVID-19, the Indian administration and the medical departments in the country are doing many things, and to be able to provide vaccines to territories which are not easy to travel. For that purpose, the Medicines for Sky initiative has been started. Let's say there is a tribe living deep inside the forest, or there is a tribe or small group of people living in a hill, and it may be difficult for medical authorities and it may be difficult for common people to transfer and transport the COVID-19 vaccines to these places. So to provide these vaccines to even the hard reaching places, the Medicines from Sky has been launched. So what do you mean by medicines from the sky? Drones would be used to transport these COVID-19 vaccine doses from one place to other place. That is the objective of the Medicines from the Sky. And an Indian state of Telangana has already been using the drones to supply the COVID-19 vaccines. And now the ICMR, which stands for Indian Council for Medical Research, is also planning to buy drones so that it can supply vaccines to various tribes which are living deep inside forested areas and in the hilly areas. You should note that Medicines from Sky is not a original initiative of the Telangana. Rather, this idea was coming from the World Economic Forum and the HealthNet Global Limited. So we have the World Economic Forum and the HealthNet Global Limited coming together for the Medicine from the Sky initiative, and Telangana government has learned this from them and copied this initiative and been successfully implementing this initiative in the India. Next we have an article where Mr. D. Gukesh has won the Gilfan Challenge Chess title. So yesterday there was the Gilfan Challenge Chess title, and an Indian minor who is Mr. D. Gukesh has won this title. By winning this Gilfan Challenge title, he become eligible for the Elite Meltwaters Championship. So what you need to understand is that Gilfan and Meltwaters are chess championships. Both are chess championships, and Mr. Gukesh is related to the field of chess. Next we have an article where Rindia is elevated as a champion when there was online chess tournaments for under 18 in the India. Two people, that is G. Kirti and Riya Mishra, has won the first and the second prize, whereas later the Chess Federation of India was able to know that these two individuals, Miss G. Kirti and Riya Mishra, have won the first and second place by using unfair methods. As these are online chess tournaments, they are using various applications and they are using outside help to win these tournaments. So these two individuals who have got the first and second rank in the under 18 national in the national under 18 rapid online chess tournament were done away with, and they are suspended now. And Rindia, who was the third winner in this national under 18 rapid championship, is given the first rank in this championship. So as the first and second rankers have been suspended and their positions has been taken away, the third position who is given to Rindia is now given the first rank in this championship. Next we have an article where the International Cricket Council have stated that the winner of the World Test Championship will be given $1.6 million. So this is a prize which is given for the winner of the World Test Championship. And apart from giving $1.6 million for the winner, the International Cricket Council will also give the winning mace. So you can see Mr. Virat Kohli, who has already won the International test championship in the earlier years, holding the maze for the test championship. And now you can understand that not only the winner will get $1.6 million, but also they will get a maze. And with this, we have come to the end of the session. Inform about Addod's initiative to your other aspirant friends, and you can visit Addod's website to attempt mock tests based on our daily current affairs videos. Thank you for watching.
Addod Solutions. Add-on desired.